Speedway Report is a production of ZTV. Well, the World of Outlaw late models welcomed a big winner back to victory lane. My word, an F1 penalty actually went against Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. Details coming up. And the ARCA Series had a historic winner in Sin City. All this and more on the way to you. Welcome to Speedway Report Monday, September the 28th, 2020. From the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina, I'm Patrick Reynolds, and thank you for joining the fastest half hour in racing. Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel? Please do. Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds. We're the latest and greatest on YouTube. Forget the boy bands, forget the music with those millions and billions of views. Speedway Report is where the real kids are at, having a great time on YouTube. And if you believe that, well, you know, let's hit the Speedway Report victory lane lap. We got who won what over the weekend. Lots going on. Pretty busy for we get the first official full weekend of fall underway. Where did the summer go? I know we say that every year, but this year it was one special year. Special in a non-memorable way. NASCAR Cup cars, NASCAR National Touring were all out in Sin City in Las Vegas, Nevada. Last night, Kurt Busch won the 400-mile Cup race. Chase Briscoe won the Xfinity event on Saturday. And Austin Hill won the Trucks race, which was held on Friday night. NASCAR's Whelen Modified Tour was in action over the weekend at Stafford Springs, Connecticut. Ronnie Silk won the 150-lapper. This, I guess, would be the fall final. Anything goes here. This is all game. Non-traditional dates, non-traditional events, but if we can get them in, it's been a darn good year. ARCA's West Series was also out in Las Vegas on the Bull Ring, won by Gracie Trotter. We're going to talk about her a little bit more a little bit later in the show. Formula One in Sochi, Valtteri Bottas was your winner for Mercedes. A little different flavor there at the top of the podium. We'll touch on that as well. Mid-Ohio hosted the IMSA Sports Car Tour. Team Penske, Elio Castro-Neves and Ricky Taylor shared winning honors at the Keyhole, the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course. NHRA was back in Nationals, usually held in the spring in Gainesville, Florida. The Gator Nationals get in September. I'll take it. In Top Fuel, Steve Torrence won over his father, Billy, in an all-Capco Top Fuel final. Ron Capps beat Tom Wilkerson in Funny Car. Alex Laughlin took his first win of the season in Pro Stock. And in Pro Stock Motorcycle, Matt Smith won the final round. Over on the dirt, the Lucas Oil late models made their home in Brownstown, Indiana. Over the weekend, Friday night's preliminary race was won by Josh Richards. Saturday night, Brownstown hosted a big one, the 41st annual Jackson 100. He won a big race 2 weeks ago. He liked it so much, he won it again. Tim McCready, Littlefoot, your winner on Saturday night's Jackson 100. World of Outlaw late models held a doubleheader in Knoxdale, Pennsylvania. On Friday night, the Bloomer, Scott Bloomquist, goes back to victory lane in World of Outlaws racing, and Brandon Shepard has not been there for not that long. He goes back. He wins the A-Main on Saturday night. World of Outlaws sprints raced 3 times. Last Thursday in Plymouth, Indiana, Donnie Schatz won the A-Main. Friday in Orville, Ohio, Sheldon Hodenschild was your winner. And in Sarver, Pennsylvania, Connecticut native David Gravel saw the checkers first. ARCA National Tour was in Memphis, Tennessee, where Joe's grandson Ty won one more time. And the USAC Sprints and Midgets held a doubleheader this weekend. On Friday night, they were in Gas City, Indiana. Sprints were won by C.J. Leary and the Midgets by Cannon McIntosh. On Saturday night, they all rolled over to Kokomo, where Tyler Courtney won the sprint feature, and Chris Wyndham was your winner in USAC Midgets. Now, as busy as we were, lots to talk about, and I'm going to talk about something to begin with. Hey, Jan, how are you? Good to see you. Thanks for chiming in and tuning in tonight. Our NASCAR playoffs. I'm going to talk about not talking about stuff. Where do you guys want my NASCAR coverage to be? Drop it into the comments. Because I literally, of the 3 national series that were in Vegas, all aired on live television, I didn't watch a lap. I did not watch a lap as they promoted all these playoffs in the round of 12, and this is their forefront. This is their platform. This is their big comparison to stick and ball coverage. I don't get it. I have not gotten it for years. I've just getting further and further and further as a NASCAR brat that was raised on Grand National Winston Cup racing and this round of 12. I read the press releases, even if I go on the little clicker on the guide that's on the TV and the right where you hit the info button, and there's a description for a movie or a TV show or a sporting event. And just the description of this race, just as, the NASCAR playoffs, round of 12, who's going on in the next round, and I get that in an NBA series or the NHL series, but NASCAR playoffs are just totally... I'm disconnected. They don't care about me or what I think anymore. There's just been a total changeover over the last 15 years of exchanging fans out for a new set of fans in that have started watching within the last 10 to 12 years. And this is just not my thing. I did everything but. I shopped. I cooked. I just did other stuff. There was a few movies on. It's like this NASCAR racing, the National Series, just does not interest me. If you guys want me to keep talking about it, drop it in the comments. Let's you and I talk about it wherever you're catching up on us on social media. Let me know where your interest level is with these. Mine is at 0, pushing negative to that. Playoffs and stages, just I don't do it and don't get it. What I was following as far as NASCAR racing was up at Stafford and the fall final, and we talked about Ronnie Silk visiting Victory Lane. In 4th place was Max McLaughlin. I'm old enough to have watched his father when he was a kid, Mike McLaughlin, old Magic Shoes, race on the dirt in New York, race on super modifieds, and then make his way over to New England to race the paved modifieds. He drove for Lenny Bowler. He drove for the Sherry Cup crew. He drove the Crazy 8. He moved down here and was a Busch Series winner for Joe Gibbs Racing. A driver coach for many guys at Gibbs, a fabricator, good welder, good mechanic, and his son Max, former guest on this show. When we did our shows and had a guest segment, as mom and dad, Mike and Katie, extremely proud of him. Ran 4th place in his NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour debut at Stafford Springs, driving Gary Putnam's car. Now, Gary Putnam, crew member down here in the Charlotte area for the major NASCAR teams, started off as a modified crew member in the weekly shows up in New England. Stafford, he's a Connecticut native. There was a group of guys that moved down here in the 90s, Tommy Baldwin, Eddie DeHaan, whole group of them. They made a career down here in the NASCAR world. Gary Putnam drives this car sometimes when we had a Southern Modified Tour. We still do have Southern Modified Racing. He's behind the wheel. Put together, Max made a great debut in the Modifieds. 150 laps in 4th place. Max, he's driven a lot in the big block center steer Modifieds in New York. He has been a lot on the ARCA Series East. He's a wheelman. I've seen him up here at Millbridge a few weeks ago. Great pedigree, great job. Modified racing, sticking with modified racing. Max McLaughlin with a great 4th place run in the modified racing. Bill Pratt, BP, tuning in tonight. He will have your drag racing talk at the top of the hour. Hopefully everything goes good for BP tonight. Last week on Drag Racing List Live, had Tech Gremlins knock out his show. I've been there before. You guys have been with me. It's an awful feeling, but it happens every once in a while. So belated birthday wishes to Bill Pratt, and hopefully he's got all the gremlins worked out. Drag Racing List Live at the top of the hour. I want to talk about the racing in Las Vegas this week, not so much the 1.5 miles, but on the 3/8 mile bull ring, we had a winner there. ARCA Series West, Gracie Trotter won this race. He's a native of Denver, Colorado. 19 years old she is, and in ARCA racing, she is the first winner in ARCA Series history. Now, you're familiar, we've had this great changeover in the last few years of what is NASCAR and what is ARCA. NASCAR took over ARCA. NASCAR left the ARCA National Series, but the old Winston West Series that was the Pro Series West and is now the ARCA Series West, she won that series, so it dates back to Winston West days. Now, you know, if you follow the heritage of this series through the Pro Series, Hailie Deegan won races in this series in 2018 and 2019. Technically, on paper, that's still the path, but this is the first ARCA-sanctioned series that a woman has seen a checkered flag, and great for her. Let's see, what do we have here in history books? We had Busch North, Busch East, Pro Series East, and now NASCAR ARCA Series East. That takes care of your East Coast. Winston West was the old forerunner to the Pro Series West, and now ARCA Series West. Did you get all that? Good, because there's a quiz at the end of the show. Anyway, Hailie Deegan has won there before, but it was still NASCAR sanctioned. As ARCA fell under the NASCAR umbrella new this year, Gracie Trotter opens up a door, takes a checkered flag in Las Vegas. Great drive for the young lady, and look forward to seeing her in victory lane, leading laps in plenty of time as she works her way up through the racing ladder. Yes, politics. Well, no, not Trump Biden, but we'll stick it with racing politics. Look at the FIA and how they ruled the Formula One Grand Prix in Russia. Let's look at the history of the Russian race. It began in 2014. Mercedes has yet to lose. Valtteri Bottas took down the win yesterday in Sochi. And Lewis Hamilton, boom, got the ruler on the knuckles and a penalty on this race. Must have given Jared Echo thrills to know that Hamilton actually got punished for something. If you know Jared Echo, he's on social media, and he says there's so much favoritism towards Hamilton is not even funny. His father, Bob Echo, was a longtime columnist at Speedway Scene. I grew up reading a lot of Bob's words. So, Jared, I hope you see a podcast of this. You should be a part of this conversation. I want to know your comments, too. I asked about for your NASCAR feelings earlier in the show. Drop them in the comments. Let me know what you think of Lewis Hamilton's penalties in the Russian GP. What happened? Well, he was practicing his starts on pit road. What's wrong with that, you may ask? Well, nothing, because they are allowed to do that, but it is event-specific and in very, very specific spots. Hamilton got busted for doing it outside of the regulated lines at Russia, and he was whacked for 2 5-second penalties in race. That was Mercedes' argument, as this did not happen within the race, but the punishment was doled out in the race. He still completed with all that, still finished third, was still on the podium, so grabbed some good points for the manufacturer's world, but Mercedes needs and wants that 1-2 finish for maximum points. For the constructors' title, Lewis Hamilton pretty much gone in a way, huge point lead as far as the drivers' championship goes. But yes, the FIA actually leveled penalties, time penalties to Hamilton. He originally had a point penalty in discussion that changed into a monetary penalty for Mercedes for the FIA. This doesn't happen that often. I find it interesting that Lewis Hamilton is just as human as the rest of the field. It's kind of cool. I don't root against Hamilton. I don't think it's cool that he's penalized. I think it's cool that a story like this comes along. So as soon as Jared Echo sees this podcast, this will be good to have him chiming in down below, because he's the unofficial Hamilton fan club member here in the U.S. Yes, Jared, that is sarcasm. And we want to welcome back Scott Bloomquist to Victory Lane. What are you talking about, Patrick? Scott Bloomquist, he wins all the time. Not so fast. A little statistic I read, I hadn't called his name out on the Victory Lane lap here in quite a while. Really? That long? Yes, almost a year. November of 19 was the last time Scott Bloomquist visited Victory Lane. It was, I think it was Thanksgiving weekend of last year. So we're coming up not on a year, but over 300 days since Scott Bloomquist won a race. My goodness, is that a drought? Or, that's a career year for some folks to win 2 races within a year's span. Bloomquist, he used to never go a couple of weeks without winning a race. But of all things, the usual favored driver throws his hat in the ring for the Lucas Oil Dirt Late Model Series. This was with the World of Outlaws. And we'll see, we'll keep our fingers crossed here in the Charlotte area if the World Finals happens, if they're going to be able to be staged here in Charlotte, North Carolina. Our state, lockdown, quarantine, COVID-19, your guess is as good as mine as to what's next. I don't know. But the World Finals coming soon. Bloomquist is always there. And last weekend, you saw Victory Lane with the World of Outlaws. First time since November of 2019. Bloomer, welcome back to Victory Lane, man. How's it been? I don't think he forgot too much how to celebrate. Let's chat about our Racer of the Week, always favored to Dave Despain and Motor Week Illustrated. Remember the 5:35 p.m. on WTBS every Saturday afternoon? Loved it. Didn't miss one. Motor Week Illustrated. Bob Varsha, produced by Ken Squire, Fred Reinstein, the whole gang there. They had a Racer of the Week. I thought about Bloomquist for Racer of the Week. I thought it would be a great comeback story, but I thought, gosh, he won enough. Not really enough, but he's seen Victory Lane plenty. He's overcome plenty. A young career that is just starting out. Had a wonderful accomplishment this weekend. My Racer of the Week, 19-year-old winner out of Denver, Colorado in the ARCA West Series. Young lady Gracie Trotter is our Speedway Report Racer of the Week. Gracie, congratulations. We hope to see you in Victory Lane soon. It will be fun to watch her career as she climbs up the ladder and shows us more and more good stuff in the ARCA Series West and hopefully in the National Series of NASCAR. In between our broadcasts, keep up on the world of auto racing with SpeedwayReport.com. This broadcast archives and our past shows are archived on the site. Pay it a visit, surf around, check out what you like. We've also got some racing articles there for a read. Social media, Facebook, we're at Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds. I will slow down to go fast. We also are on Racers Reunion on the Facebook page. On Twitter, I'm at Speedway Report and at Speedway Pat. And if you go to the old homestead, racersreunion.com, we are in the forum. And like I said at the top of the show, check out our YouTube channel. Big thanks to everybody on the Facebook live feed. Jan and Bill, I see, chimed in. The rest of it's off the screen, so I'll catch up with you guys in a little bit. And I want to thank all of the military past and present for the freedoms we enjoy as Americans in our daily life, including the simple things like bench racing right here every Monday. Freedom is not free, and a veteran paid that bill for us. To all of the men and women who are defending freedom and watching Speedway Report, you take care of yourselves and come home soon. A special salute to the school teachers, school staff, firefighters, police officers, and paramedics in our own communities. They are quiet and modest heroes every single day. God bless and thank you. You have been watching Speedway Report from the shores of Lake Norman in Race City, USA, Mooresville, North Carolina. Please like our Facebook page, Speedway Report with Patrick Reynolds, and follow me on Twitter at Speedway Pat. Now, on the Drag Racing List Facebook page, coming up at the top of the hour is Drag List Live. You got Bill Pratt and John Bockelman making up for last night's Tech Gremlins. They'll be at it. I've got that racer feeling about these guys. Head on over there shortly for the Drag Racing Talk. We'll be back here live on Facebook Monday, October the 5th. We'll have NASCAR National Series in Talladega, Indy cars on the Speedway on the road course at Indy Speedway for the doubleheader, NHRA in Illinois, and then we'll have a bunch of short track racing too. Thank you all for watching. You take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see you all next week.